if it is Wednesday, you are here with your girl Soso on the Sohria Alexander Show. Welcome, welcome, one and all. How are you this evening, my sweet people? Welcome to all my radio listeners on Liberty 92.3 FM. What up? What up? How y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing well from the north of the island to the south of the island to the east of the island and to the west of the island. I bid you a wonderful good evening. And also to all my listeners and my viewers on social media, I bid you a good evening and hope that everyone had a splendid day. Well, my day was good. My day was kind of challenging, but I made it through. You know, sometimes you have to put everything together, so many things to get done, and you're like, oh my gosh, but I made it through. I am here where I am able to chat with you, where I am able to speak with you, and thank you to all of you who take the time to listen to me. And I read some of the comments on my Facebook page where I stream my show also, and those comments were so enlightening. And I want to say thank you. I really want to say thank you for really sticking with a show that is different, because we have to up the conversation. We have to change the narrative in the interest of ourselves, because you have to say to yourself, what am I doing to make my life better? What am I doing to push myself forward? But let me warn you, people. Allow Soso to warn you, because when you try to push yourself forward, especially on this piece of rock called St. Lucia, do not expect anybody to come and pat you on the back and say, well done. Do not expect people to tell you, I am going to be there to support you. You must believe in yourself. You must believe in your plan, and you will have some good people to be around you to help you move forward. So don't feel dismayed, because we all see it. All our people support our politicians and politics. And I've seen it. I've seen that they would be on lives with hundreds, thousands of people, but let those people share their business idea or their business. They will just look at it and cut eyes. This is why people say, even if it is one person who claps for you or nobody claps for you, continue moving forward. And this is the conversation we need to have. People are so centered around the political atmosphere. And let me explain to you what happens. Every 5 years, look at where you are as an individual, as a person. Look at where you are. You are in the same spot. You are not moving forward, because you know why? You refuse to change your focus towards yourself. Your focus is only on what can the government do for me? What can politicians do for me? And always being dragged into somebody else's narrative or into somebody's storm, instead of you saying, I need to do something different. Because think of it. Every 5 years, people complain about this, people complain about that. But you need to take it a step further and look at yourself. Look at yourself to see where you are going or where you have come from and gone during the 5-year period or 10-year period. And it is sad that we are living in a world. We are living in a world where we are much more advanced than 30 years ago, but people still behave as if they are living in 1900. We should be more intelligent. We should be more thorough in our thought processes as to where we want to go as a people. Because if everybody start looking inwardly, there would be massive change in our lives. Stop looking at other people. Look at you, what you want for yourself. Don't be envious of anybody. It's not worth it. Look at yourself and say, what do you want to achieve? And I know many people said to me, they enjoyed the show about, debt. Debt is the key to poverty. Because we find many people living high lifestyles on debt. And then you want to emulate them because you want to live up to the Joneses. And all they do is live in debt, have credit cards, loans, and refinance. And then you think they have the best life. But always remember, my sweet people, my listeners, my viewers, always remember that you are responsible for your decision. People around you can cause you to make many bad decisions, but that shouldn't be. So I'm very grateful and very thankful that you guys did enjoy the Debt Trap, and that this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And this is why I keep saying this is a good show for advertisers to come on. It's a positive show. Excuse me. And many people want their brand associated with positive shows. And this is one where you can advertise with us. And as I said, we'll soon be on television. So your exposure is going to be massive. We're on radio. We're on television, YouTube, and Facebook. Now, the thing about it, you find that people on Facebook, and it is sad. It is really sad, especially for my St. Lucian people. It is really sad that all you'll want is politics. I can do one of the best political shows. But do a best political show for what? And then you would see all of them coming and watch 1,000. But do the best political show for what? Who would be benefiting from that? Certainly not Sohria. Certainly not Soso. Certainly not you. The powers that be, the big wigs, they are the ones who would be benefiting. So why not do something where I can use my skill, use my talent, use my education to help you move from point A to point B? And you see, a lot of people cannot understand that transition. Yes, I did the political shows, but at the end of the day, when I look at it, people don't allow you to change your opinions about things. It's either you support red or you support yellow. Why do that? There is no benefit in that. Okay, I am not benefiting in that. So why not use what I have to help people? It's gonna be a challenge for you. It's gonna be a challenge for you to change your mindset, because human beings like drama. Human beings like discord. Human beings like when gory things happen, like if a killing and they want to see how the person was shot in the head, in the leg, in the arm, in whatever. They really like to see those things because it takes too much effort. It takes too much effort for you to think. But it takes no effort to sit and listen to a talk show host or somebody talks politics and for you to gravitate and just be in the merry gang. You see, I like to be different. I don't like to be part of the pack. I don't like to be with the masses, because when you take up the M, you know what you got from the masses. So I am very encouraged. I'm very happy doing a show like this. And you know, when I go back, well, radio listeners and soon to be on TV, I guess you'll communicate with your friends, your family when you watch the show. But feel free, my radio and TV listeners, you can get me on Facebook, Sohria Alexander. You can send me a note. You can also get me on my WhatsApp. Send me a note and let me know how you're doing, how you feel, or what you may like me to discuss. As I said, we're not going politics. If something happened and I can discuss it on a basis of, being neutral, I will do that. But if it's, a scandal here, a scandal there, and one of my people, my viewers on Facebook, wrote a remarkable response to my show, and I actually featured her on my page, and her name is, allow me to shout her out, Joan Francis. Hi Joan, if you're listening tonight, thank you for your lovely response to my show. And what she said: love the show, very interesting, no bashing, no insults, very encouraging. So thank you so much, Joan Francis. And let me explain to you. I know there is a market out there for my show. There are many people who may be just not listening to talk shows or doing anything because they believe there is not a positive show out there to speak on issues in an honest way. Well, right now, people are realizing that this is a very, very honest and good show. And this is what I want. I don't want, because as I said to you, I stream the show to Facebook. I do not want people coming on my Facebook stream and quarreling with people and saying all sorts of things. This is not what I want. And many of the reviews were like, good show, they love it, great advice, So we had people like Glenda Martin saying great advice, Renee Ariste saying keep up the good work, and Joe Joseph said excellent program. Yes, the system designed program to keep us in debt. To point out a view, not all debts are bad debt, but look at the liability. How to use the debt for your advantage. Example, just a car, bad debt. But if that car brings you money, it's a good debt, etc., etc. And Dolores Williams-Bart said, good show. Bridget Edwards said, have a good night, so. And she loved the show. Sylvia Leo, great show tonight, so. Great advice. Diane Seeley, great show as always. And, people are just, Bridget Edwards again, good show as usual. Charlo Johnson Simon said, great conversational topic, and this is what we have to do. This is what you have. Teresa Louise, you look beautiful, so. So these are the comments from the last show that I am just, reading out to you. There is a market. There is a market for a show where people can identify and learn. And tonight, my people, the conversation is going to be another interesting conversation because we have to ensure that things are done right in this country. And with this, I'm going to take my first commercial break.
If it were a perfect world, I would never leave my seat. My fingers would do the clicking. My card would do the paying. And if it were a perfect world, my items would be sent hassle-free from this location to me via air or sea. And if it were a perfect world, in this one building would be warehousing, stress-free customs clearance facilities, and island-wide delivery. Fortunately, the world is that perfect because I've chosen West Indies Shipping, the leaders in imports, exports, clearance, and deliveries for over 20 years. Call them West Indies Shipping, telephone 459-0444.
Catch the Sohria Alexander Show on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here on 92.3 Liberty FM. This show will revolutionize your mind. Your host, Soso, awaits you. See you there.
Okay, remember, catch us every Monday, every Wednesday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. 1 hour. Locked with Susu. Now, tonight, people, let's get down to business. And it is just crazy what I'm gonna talk to you about tonight. It is just absolutely crazy. I have come here on many occasions, and you see what I'm saying to you? A positive show. I have spoken so much about those things. I was just here last week talking to you about that. Look, I am here today, tonight, talking about the same things over and over again. Excuse me. Let me read for you what I wrote on my Facebook page. Because I could not believe that, people. I personally, Sohria, could not believe what I was reading, what I was viewing. It was just like, this cannot be right. I'm like, this thing cannot be right. And every time what you find, you find I have to come here. So I wrote, emergency. Young female student has congenital heart failure disease. Okay? Congenital heart disease. Young male student suspended for 3 days. I swear this country is insane. Our education system continues to fail us. Why is a child being suspended from school for 3 days? Because he called 911 for his classmate because she was having breathing issues. The principal needs to be suspended. Moreover, the Minister of Education, Honorable Sean Edward, behaves like he has drank mumu tablets, mumu pills. Sorry, mate, but your presence is wanting. Our education system continues to fail our students. Thank you, young man, for calling our emergency services for the female student. Clearly, you saved her life. St. Lucia is not a real place. Now, help me understand something. It tells me that our leaders, our principals, our vice principals, our teachers, I'm here again talking about this. I was just here talking about a child who was bullied. Now tonight I'm here talking about a child who did good and he was punished. A child who realized that one of his classmates was in trouble. Now, let me tell you something. If you see I am in trouble, the first thing you have to do for me is to call 911. Because you already set the process in me getting help in motion. But this young man, apparently, I'll allow you to listen to the video, sought help from the principal and the vice principal, but they were nowhere to be found. And what did he do? He called 911 for his classmate, this young Form 1, not even his classmate, just a student in the school. She's in Form 1, he's in Form 4. He called 911 to help her. But you know what they did? I am telling you, our principals are living in the Stone Ages. Our teachers are living in the Stone Ages. Because there are rules we all have to follow at work, at school, wherever we go. But you cannot say to me that because there is a rule in your rule book stating you're not supposed to use your phone during school hours, that you are going to suspend a young boy for 3 days because he used his phone to save a life. Something is drastically wrong with that picture. We have too many parents complaining something is wrong with our education system. Honorable Sean Edward, I have mentioned your name maybe about 50 times on my show, always with an issue. It was Hess, then Grand Riviere Secondary School. Then the bullying, then we have this situation, then the young lady suspended for 7 weeks. Same story, that parents are trying to reach out, or students trying to reach out to the authorities within the school system, and everyone has been ignoring them. We have a situation. You may want to come on your shows and speak about the political things happening, but let me tell you something. What is happening within our school system and with our children is greater than what's happening on the political scene, because the children are our future. Now, I am going to play the tape for you to have a look.
A father who does not want to be identified is trying to understand why his son, a Form 4 student, received a 3-day suspension from school. According to the parent, his 16-year-old son was punished for simply calling an ambulance. According to him, on Friday, May 19th, a female Form 1 student was experiencing breathing difficulties. Out of concern for the life of the student, his son made the call, but instead of being commended for his timely intervention, he was instead suspended.
There are a young lady in the school that was hyperventilating. All right? She was gasping for air, and the children, they called the teacher. The teacher came and assist. They brought the child to the office. All right? And the teacher, she was trying to get the attention of the principal, but the principal was busy at the time. But the child got up and walked away on the teacher. The teacher didn't even notice the child move. So my son now saw the child really started back thing. She started getting worse. He made a call to the ambulance, and they suspend him for making the call. So to me, I don't understand the value of life. Is like the way the school have me watching it, like they punishing him for making the call, for trying to save the girl's life.
The father says he visited the school on Monday to find out more about what happened. He, however, was not able to speak with the principal of the school, but said he was given a letter which stated that the suspension was due to the student making the call. The father believes that his son has been punished to cover up for negligence on the part of the school.
In situations like that, no matter even if the child, the teachers and say the child looking good, the child could just change in a matter of seconds. I spoke to the parent, the mother told me she commended him on what he did. The young lady told me she don't know why they suspend him, because it's her daughter's right that hanging in the balance there. The way I'm seeing it playing out is the fact of it looking like negligence, whereas she didn't want it to be publicized because it looked bad on her. That's how I see it. Because do not tell me that you have a young lady gasping for air. The teacher brought her to the hospital. The children are finding her, trying to relax her. She gets up and moves on y'all, and y'all didn't even notice she gets up and moves, where she collapsed again. And that's when my son made the call. Because they didn't even notice she get up and she moved, because she was by the office and she moved. So that part of negligence just happened. It happened because it could happen to anybody child. And the thing about it, my son doesn't have a body-line surname, so you know. Because if it was one of the big shots and then son that did that, it would just be don't do it again, and you know.
Calls to the school for comment went unanswered. This reporter did speak to the mother of the female student, who expressed disappointment in the suspension of the male student. According to her, his actions may have saved the life of her daughter, who suffers with a congenital heart condition. Due to the illness, her daughter is not able to perform strenuous physical activity. She disclosed that her daughter spent 2 days at the hospital following last Friday's incident, but is currently back home. In her words, were it not for the young man, her daughter could have died. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus. A father who does not want to be identified is trying to understand why his son, a Form 4 student, received a 3-day suspension from school. According to the parent, his 16-year-old son was punished for simply calling an ambulance. According to him, on Friday, May 19th, a female Form 1 student was experiencing breathing difficulties. Out of concern for the life of the student, his son made the call, but instead of being commended for his timely intervention, he was instead suspended.
There are a young lady in the school that was hyperventilating. All right? She was gasping for air, and the children, they call the teacher. The teacher came and assist. They brought the child to the office. All right? And the teacher, she was trying to get the attention of the principal, but the principal was busy at the time. But the child got up and walked away on the teacher. The teacher didn't even notice the child move. So my son now saw the child really started back thing. She started getting worse. He made a call to the ambulance, and they suspend him for
Now, my people, I've played the video for you, and I played a portion of it. Help me understand. What was that principal thinking to suspend this young man? I want to have people like this young man around me, so that when others who claim they are in authority thinks to know it all, I have somebody besides me who have my back. This young man should have been rewarded. But what was done to him? He was suspended for 3 days. Now listen well to what the father said. That they were fanning the young lady. She couldn't breathe. They left. As soon as she got up, she collapsed, and he was there. That's when he pulled his phone out. To the parents of this child, of the young man who made the call to 911, you did an excellent job in raising this young man. And let me tell you what I love about this young man. And all of us who can should reward this young man. We don't know who he is because, he's a minor. They won't show his face. His daddy is speaking. But you know this man, this young man should be rewarded. And what I love about this young man is he did not pull out his phone to record a young female Form 1 student who was in distress. The child suffers obviously with a heart disease. Obviously, she suffers with a heart disease. And he did not ridicule her. Oh my God, this must be some remarkable young man. I'm happy tonight I'm here to speak about a young man in a very positive way and to make the authorities realize the errors of their ways. He did not pull out that phone to say, oh, nothing happened to her, she pretended. Or he didn't turn his back. He behaved more matured than some adults. Before they see school children fighting, their phones are out, their cameras are out recording. Okay? Because, he could have done the same thing. He didn't. He called 911. Now, let me tell you what I think happened there. What I believe happened is that the principal, the vice principal, the teachers, all of them were made to look like fools. They felt stupid to realize a student was able to take charge when they didn't do what they were paid to do. Take care of the students. Now, what I don't understand, people, when I don't know what they do now, but when my children were going to school, you had to write down any illnesses they have, any reactions, allergic reactions to medication and to whatever. I always put on the forms, if anything happened to any of my children, do not give them penicillin. because I too I am allergic to that drug, right? I can't take that drug. Once I was ill, and they gave me that injection, and this thing almost killed me. So I always say, do not give those children any drug called penicillin. None of them can take it, anything with it. So this young lady, I honestly, people, I tired talking. I am tired of coming here and talk. It is falling on deaf ears. And let me tell you, I know the ministers, I know all of them that watch the show. They may not want you to see them on Facebook. They may be listening on Liberty 92.3 FM or on the apps. And soon they'll be sitting in their living rooms comfy on their couch listening to the show. Because our show is top tier. My producer is top tier. Now, I just don't understand that you do not have records. You should be able to know all your children at your school that are high risk. You should know. And be aware from the time this child starts saying she can't breathe, you call the damn ambulance. You call emergency services from the time you hear she can't breathe. Now you suspend him, and the child's parent, they are very grateful to the young man for calling 911. The young lady spent 2 days in hospital. She spent 2 days in hospital, and this is a serious problem she has. She is going to live with that for the rest of her life. And let me tell you something. I can speak on that heart disease because my mom lived in St. Lucia for a while, and then when she went to the doctors, they used to say to her she has an enlarged heart. That's all they said to her, an enlarged heart. And then her hands, she said, when she bent down or whatever, her hands didn't have any blood in them. Her palm of her hand would just be white. It's when she went over to the United States of America, they realized that the lady has a valve that was leaking and one that needed repair. So she had to have heart surgery, which she did. And she lived for 17 years after the heart surgery. So this young lady, I am asking the Ministry of Education that you take responsibility for this young lady. This young lady would need a lot of medical intervention. This is a life we can save. This is a life that do not have to die before her time, because my mom passed away at the age of 82. This is a young lady, Form 1, just starting life. She must have been about 11, 12. She doesn't have to die. Martinique is just there. Let us give her the support she needs. Let us send this young lady to get a thorough medical to help her. The children are the future, and this is where I want our monies to be spent. On our future, on our people. And the future doesn't mean just saying, okay, go start a business, go start this. The future is ensuring that our young people, when they are in medical situations like that we take care of them. And I want the Minister of Education to wake up from his slumber. Personally, I am disappointed with this Minister of Education. I am not feeling his impact anyway. I am not hearing him. There is no communication coming out from his ministry. It's like everybody has gone to sleep. I need to hear you on my airwaves. You have the Government Information Service. You have the NTN, National Television Network. You have Government of St. Lucia Facebook. Y'all are not using it. You are not speaking to the public. We do not know what is happening. So many incidents, and we have not heard from the Minister of Education. He has taken all the Momo tablets that all the pharmacies have been selling. You need to do better, Minister of Education. We need to have that comfort that when we send our children to school, that we know there are responsible people. You need these principals need retraining. What can be so important? If I'm a principal of the school, the Prime Minister could be coming, the King could be coming, the Queen could be coming, and one of my students is in distress, I ain't leaving them. My responsibility is first to my students and nobody else. My responsibility is first to them. And this is sad. Mr. Producer, you can continue playing the tape.
For making the call. So to me, I don't understand the value of life. Is like the way the school have me watching it, like they punishing him for making the call, for trying to save the girl life.
The father says he visited the school on Monday to find out more about what happened. He, however, was not able to speak with the principal of the school, but said he was given a letter which stated that the suspension was due to the student making the call.
So help me understand something. The principals of the school, y'all, this is really getting annoying. This is really getting annoying. The principals of the school, y'all turn to Lady D, that you have no time for a parent coming in wanting to speak to you. And they just give, where is the respect for the parents? The audacity of the principal and administration to just tell the gentleman, the parent of the child, oh, here's the letter why he's suspended. One thing I find in St. Lucia, the respect level is very low. One thing I have found in St. Lucia, the respect level is very low. Until you do not get on ratchet, nobody's gonna listen to you. Now, if the parent, when they're shouting, screaming, maybe he may have gotten attention, or they would have called security or police on him. But the disrespect shown by principals, vice principals, teachers, whoever, to parents needs to stop. There is a lot of disrespect in circulation at those schools, especially the secondary schools. If you are too stressed for the job, leave it. Go sit at a desk job. Because when you are a principal of a school, it is not about your school being the top school. It is not about your school and the students getting all the ones, all the twos, all the this, all the that. It is shaping children's lives. How do you think? How do you think that this parent felt, the father of the child? How do you think he felt when he came to you and he didn't get to see you? And you'll tell him, oh, it's because he used his phone. He didn't use his phone to call criminals to come to the school to shoot out the students or the teachers or the principal. He didn't use his phones to call someone to come sell drugs. He didn't use the phone to get marijuana or ask somebody to bring guns to the school. He did nothing like that. And it is asinine that a principal has no good judgment. You only suspended the young man because you're ashamed that you didn't do your job as a principal and teachers, and it's the students. Instead, we reward this child. You could have handled this better. It tells me a lot of people who are principals now and teachers, they're just doing it for the money. They are just doing it for the money, because I am still trying to fathom and to understand and to calculate and to take out here, take out there, trying to understand the reason why, the importance, the fundamental reason why this young man was suspended. He was suspended because your rule book says he cannot make a call. Lady, when it comes to the life and death situation, fight or flight, and what this young man did, he picked up the phone and called 911, but he was punished. Continue, Mr. Producer.
Father believes that his son has been punished to cover up for negligence on the part of the school.
In situations like that, no matter even if the child, the teachers and say the child looking good, the child could just change in a matter of seconds. I spoke to the parent, the mother told me she commended him on what he did. The young lady told me she don't know why this is suspending, because It's her daughter's life that hanging in the balance there. The way I'm seeing it playing out is the fact of it looking like negligence, whereas she didn't wanted it to be publicized because it looked bad on her. That's how I feel. Because do not tell me that you have a young lady gasping for air. The teacher brought her to the hospital. The children, they're finding her, trying to relax her. She gets up and move on y'all, and y'all didn't even notice she gets up and move, where she collapsed again, and that's when my son made the call. Because they didn't even notice she get up and she moved, because she was by the office and she moved. So that part of negligence just happened. It happened because it could happen to anybody child. And the thing about it, my son doesn't have a body-line surname, so you know. Because if it was one of the big shots and then son that did that, it would just be don't do it again, and you know.
Calls to the school for comment went unanswered. This reporter did speak to the mother of the female student, who expressed disappointment in the suspension of the male student. According to her, his actions may have saved the life of her daughter, who suffers with a congenital heart condition. Due to the illness, her daughter is not able to perform strenuous physical activity. She disclosed that her daughter spent 2 days at the hospital following last Friday's incident, but is currently back home. In her words, were it not for the young man, her daughter could have died. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
The mother said that her daughter could have passed away. The father said because he doesn't have big name, they did his child that. And that's not the first father or the first parent I am hearing saying this. And the father said if his son had one of the big short names, they would not have done him that. You correct, Dad. I'm not going to lie, Dad, and say to you that what you say is not true. St. Lucia is a society that is built on friendship, names, who knows who knows what, who this, who's that, and you are correct. And the mother is saying that if this young man did not help her child, she could have died. What are your thoughts on this, St. Lucia? St. Lucia, I put the questions to you tonight. What are your thoughts on this? St. Lucia, you do not really care about your own. St. Lucians believe their own is only for politics. We would see they saying or they signing petitions, let's do this, let's do that. Let's stand with this one, let's stand with that one. But for the course of the year, from last year to now, we've heard the pleas and the cries of students and parents. And this is a serious issue, but we're not seeing anybody on Facebook starting a movement to say, let us stand with our students to fix the educational system. And this is why we are in the rut we are in today. Because the things that are going to make us better human beings are being sidelined for instant gratification. Nobody wants to put in the work that will take a lot of time and resources to get us into being better human beings. All we want to do is to get a political high. That's all we want to do. Where, why must somebody come and organize a match or whatever? These are the things where I tell you, this country is a very interesting one. Where are the groups, the concerned citizens group? Where are you to do a snap protest and saying we need better for our students? This cannot be right. But let me tell you what, we are so politically connected with the politicians that if one of you who knows what is right and what is wrong, and you decide to say, okay, let us just go and protest. We're going to protest for this student being suspended for doing something right. We are protesting that the father is unable to speak to the principal, not only him, for all the other cases we've had. We want our Minister of Education and we want our government to do better. They will not do that because you know what, baby? Everybody wants to be the minister's friend. Let me tell you, I'm everybody's friend, but I'm going to speak the truth. If I have to withhold speaking the truth for you to be my friend or for me to receive favors from you, I'd rather eat rocks. It ain't gonna happen now. It ain't gonna happen ever. Because the truth is what that is going to set you and I free. So many things are happening in this country. And nobody is going to go out there to protest on the behalf of those who cannot speak. Because everybody looks at things from a political point of view. And let me say this to you. If you continue looking at every situation from a political point of view, my party is in power. My party is in power. I cannot say nothing. Boy, all cocktails, all dinners, all this, all passes, all big things. Woo, they're giving me a contract for $50,000. Woo, the minister gave me a nice job. Woo, I cannot say anything. Then people, how are we going to proceed? You should be able to enjoy all those things and still be an honest person and tell them as it is, right? Our politicians need to be mature, and we as a people, as citizens, need to be mature. Nobody is protesting for the right things. Nobody, except the one lady who's protesting for St. Jude, and she's protesting for some other stuff. But let me tell you, people, I pray for the day. I pray for the day where St. Lucians would come together as St. Lucians to fight for a cause, irrespective of which administration is in power, whether it's the United Workers' Party, whether it's the St. Lucia Labour Party, that we come to fight for a cause. And when we come together as a people to fight for what is right, who do you think benefit? We all benefit because we came together as a people. It will force the hands of our leaders to do what's right. I am very saddened. I must be honest with you. I am very saddened with the position that our country is, with the road, in fact, the track, the path that our country is heading to because of us as citizens. And with this, I am going to take my final commercial break.
If it were a perfect world, I would never leave my seat. My fingers would do the clicking. My card would do the paying. And if it were a perfect world, my items would be sent hassle-free from this location to me via air or sea. And if it were a perfect world, in this one building would be warehousing, stress-free customs clearance facilities, and island-wide delivery. Fortunately, the world is that perfect because I've chosen West Indies Shipping, the leaders in imports, exports, clearance, and deliveries for over 20 years. Call them West Indies Shipping. Telephone 459-0444.
Catch the Sohria Alexander Show on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here on 92.3 Liberty FM. This show will revolutionize your mind. Your host, Soso, awaits you. See you there.
And we are back. And remember, we are always here on Mondays and Wednesday. It's a good show. Feel free to advertise with my show. And if you message me on the business page, or on the WhatsApp number, and it's for advertising. When you do message me on the WhatsApp number, what I would do, I would okay, let me just do this, right? When you message me on my WhatsApp number 715-9458, or if you call me, this is the Facebook number I would give. As long as it's for business, I would give you my personal number, and we can rap and we can chat. So if you want to do advertising with the show, as I say, top tier show, excellent production, and you can contact me on 715-9458, send a message, and we can rap from there. Because it's a good show. It's a good show. We're causing people to think. Grow with the show. Excuse me. Grow with the show and learn with the show. And let me tell you what I've found. I've found that it is not easy for people to gravitate to something new. Because I've realized on my Facebook page, they would come chatter with me. Remember, I'm going to be 3 places, so, you have to be monitoring. They would come chatter on different topics. But when it is the show, they won't come view the show on Facebook. But you would see them running to all the other political shows. And even if you post other things to prick their brains, you'd find people from all over the world, the Caribbean islands, all over the world, because I have all sorts of people on my page. You would find they would come comment and, interact. But if it is not political, it's like to them, they are losing their salt. You are losing your salt by not being able to divorce yourself from politics. And a lot of these people, that's all they see. People, it is toxic. It gets you old. It gets you, miserable. And if you think I lie, just look at our politicians. When some of them were not in office, they were the bomb, looking good, looking nice. Politics get you old. Look at Barack Obama, how he just aged him. Look at Biden, President Biden, Clinton, all right? Look at Dr. Anthony. Look at Honorable Philip J. Pierre. Look at them. Everybody, people, think of our nation. Think of our young people. I think I have given you all so much information to cause you to go and sit in a corner to think. But it is very hard for you to sit in a corner to think. But it's easy just to join everybody in the same bandwagon with the same nonsense, the same narrative. Purpose, this is audio, but let me tell you, all I can do is come and say this to you. All I can do is come and talk to you. But it is left to the people to make a change. Let me tell you, if I'm walking in town and I happen to see people protesting for students, right, for minimum wage, for things that making sense, I come in and stand up. Even if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I can give them 1 hour. I'm standing with them. Or organize things, and say notion, some of you need to chill. Because before somebody speak, and it may not be in line with your government, you want to fight and kill them. And sometimes that person, what they are saying is actually to ensure your government uplift the nation, uplift the people. We need to get active. We need to get active. Where are all those groups that used to be so active? Concerned citizens, organizing stuff. We cannot be so biased. We cannot leave our students, we cannot leave our young people in this. You know what the students and the young people are saying? We are, as adults, we are hypocrites. And you know what? They are absolutely correct. When they say that we as adults are hypocrites, they are totally right. Because we cannot be saying one thing. We cannot be saying one thing and then it is something else we are doing. It's like saying, do not eat pork. And you behind closed doors, you busting pork. Do not drink coffee, but behind closed doors, you are busting coffee. The hypocrisy needs to stop. And life is so fleeting. Let me tell you, I will say what I have to say, but I have purpose in my heart. Hold no man in my heart. Hold no one in my heart. Because life is a fleeting. And it is very, very, very sad that on Tuesday, we got the sad news of Winston Springer passing. Winston Springer Sr. And like I said, I think the whole of St. Lucia must be related to me. I have to maybe try to marry someone from another country. Because Winston Springer Sr. was related, because he has passed, may God rest his soul, is related to me by my mother's side. My grandfather and his father were two brothers. So I'm showing you how close he's related to me. Because I have a family member, Sohria Alexander. Lucy is tracking the whole family. And he passed away. And, it is very sad. We never know. We just saw him when they had the House of Parliament. And he passed away. And condolences to his family, on the passing of a loved one. And like I say, irrespective of politics, we must always take politics with a grain of salt and throw it away. We are people. We must come together as a people. Life is a fleeting. Enjoy now, because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. Be kind to someone. If someone comes to you and say, I need assistance, and you can help them. Do not look for, favors or all kind of things after you have helped somebody, or you at this person, you must do this, you must do that for me. Life is a fleeting. Life is short. Look at how he gone. You think he thought he would have died? Right? And based on what I heard, he collapsed, somewhere, and he was rushed to a OKEU, and he died. Be gentle, be kind, be bold, but have a heart of love. Have a heart of gold. And whatever you do for the balance of the week, ensure you are kind to someone. And with this, I bid you good night. Bye.